Okay, so just state your name for the audience that's going to be watching. Your name is?
My name is Mason, and hi to everyone who is watching this.
Great, Mason. So Mason, tell me a bit about your background. Like, you're obviously here for, the Iranians in Iran, right?
Yeah.
What life is like there, and what insights do you have?
I moved here around 8 years ago to Australia, and I've been living in Iran for 30 years. And the reason that I moved here was because of the very bad economic situation, very bad, terrible government, the way that they manage the stuff in the government, lots of corruption, and waging the war in the Middle East, and kind of wasting the resources that Iran has for stupid goals and stuff that doesn't make sense to the Iranian people.
Okay. And so obviously, you have a few supporters here, Australians, Israeli.
Yeah.
Tell me, why do you support Israel
Yeah,
in the Middle East?
yeah.
Because right now, the pro-Palestinians are saying that Israel is attacking Iran, right?
Yeah.
So could you clarify what you mean, what they mean when they say, why you support Israel?
Yeah.
When these people are saying that Israel is attacking Iran?
Yeah.
Do you think they're attacking the terrorists
Yeah.
or the people in Iran?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I mentioned. In Iran, the Islamic government in Iran, which is a dictatorship, theocracy, they are selling the oil and the other resources of Iran and spending that money funding the terrorist organization like Hamas, like Hezbollah. And obviously we are not happy of that at all. And the reason that I'm supporting Israel is because I think that Iranian people and Israel, they have the same goal, and they can support each other to get rid of this Islamic regime in Iran and have a peaceful life together. Because I think that Iranians and Israelis, they don't have any problem with each other. It's just the Islamic regime in Iran, and hopefully in the future we can live peacefully together.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so tell me a bit about the history of Iran, right? Like the Ayatollah Khomeini, what life and rules is like under Iran, under him, versus the Shah, which is what you guys have here, right?
Yeah.
What life is like under the Shah in regards to the standard of living, women's rights, economics, and we can even talk about Islamic fundamentalism and how that's influenced the women in Iran as well as non-Muslims like Jews and Christians.
Yeah, definitely. Before the 1979 revolution, we had the Shah. It was a monarchy. That country was doing really well in terms of economy and human rights, and it was a lot more free than what we have after the revolution in 1979 when it was took over by Khomeini, and he executed many oppositions and imposed a lot of social restrictions especially on the women and even on men, and that was a disaster, I think. And if Shah's monarchy was going on right now, I would reckon that we had a lot better relationship with Israel, because it was a lot better and Middle East was in peace, and that's what we are fighting for, to bring back his son and be hopeful that we are going to have a good government, a government that is from the people and is living with harmony with Israel.
So my question is now how do you solve it? Like, what's your hope for the people of Iran?
Yeah.
Like, how would they, let's say regime change or whatever the case is, how could they elect or remove the Ayatollah Khomeini from power after so many years? that he's been running the country? Because you've highlighted that the life is pretty miserable for non-Muslims, women, gays are being killed, I think, off cranes.
Yeah.
Because I've seen pictures of gays being hanged from cranes in Iran. And the numerous human rights abuse. In fact, one could even call it apartheid, since they're treating one group of people different from the other, like Jews and Christians compared to Muslims. So my question is, do you think we can pressure on the UN and other humanitarian organizations to speak up for the people of Iran? And how do you think change, peaceful change, can happen in order to help the people of Iran?
I think Israel did a great job in the 12 days war because they eliminated many of the resources of the Islamic regime in Iran, that they were cracking down on the people and killing the people in the protests. So people are much more hopeful that they can overthrow this regime. And Israel and Bibi Netanyahu, who is a very famous guy in Iran, and many people support him, is going to support the Iranian people, hopefully, for the new wave of the protest to topple the regime and have freedom back again.
Okay, so I have a few more questions. This is my second last question. On not trigonometry, Piers Morgan, Constantine Kinzinger highlighted that 12-year-old children, after the Islamic Revolution happened, they were at war with Iraq straight away. Because they didn't have the military power to fight Iraq, they used children, 12-year-old children, so it's been claimed, to clear landmines. Obviously, Iran has the Islamic regime in Iran has a long history of human abuse. Who do you think could hold them to accountable for their actions in the near future? Because the people of Iran, and obviously the world, demand answers in regards to the human rights abuse that's happening in Iran, right?
Yeah.
We need to know who's in charge and why this happened. So what do you think is going to happen continuing forward if Iran doesn't come clean or transparent in regards to the human rights abuse?
A bunch of mafia and evil people are running Iran, and they are completely detached from the reality and from the people, and the only thing that they care is their agenda and staying in power. That's why they don't give a shit to kill the innocent people, children, anyone. They are just looking to follow their ideology. That's why it doesn't matter if it's Iranian people, Israeli people, or anyone in Middle East. If it's Palestine, anyone, they are just abusing them. And unfortunately, many people that they think that the government in Iran is okay. It's not okay, and those organizations that care for human rights and stuff like that, they might support the Iranian people instead of just giving more room to this regime to do anything they want. But I think that the whole world, especially the governments in the world, they have come to the conclusion that this regime must go, and there is a great consensus in Iran to get rid of this regime, and that's what we are going. And I'm very hopeful and optimistic that this Islamic theocratic regime is going to be overthrown soon.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, obviously we do want human rights organizations to actually speak up when there's human rights abuse. So in your view, which human rights organization do you want to speak up against the human rights abuse? Like Amnesty International, maybe the UN, but I don't think the UN is going to speak up in regards to the abuse in Iran. Red Cross. Like, is there a certain human rights organization you want to speak up in regards to the people of Iran?
This regime has been doing this crazy stuff for many years, and I think this organization had the chance to speak up and stand against them and do something. I don't think if I'm waiting for the organizations to do anything for the Iranian people, and me and the other Iranian people, we have to stand up for our rights and get rid of this regime. I don't think if they can do anything, because this regime is very cruel and it's not gonna listen to any organization.
Okay, you've highlighted that we should get rid of the Islamic regime. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, what's the best peaceful way to remove the Ayatollah from power and to remove the Islamic regime so that people can live their life in, the pursuit of happiness? Peace, love, democracy. Obviously, everyone being treated under the law. So, what would your recommendation be going forward?
I wish there was a way to remove them peacefully, but I don't think if there is going to be any peaceful way to remove them. That's why anyone who can, the whole world, they must support the Iranian people, and they must support them in any means, because they are killing the people. They limit the internet. They do a lot of bad stuff, and they are killing the people. So I don't think if there is going to be any peaceful way, and it's up to the Iranian people and up to the world to get rid of them.
Well, obviously my thoughts and prayers are for the Iranian people, even though I'm an Australian, right? And my loyalty and allegiance to Australia, obviously. But like I said, it looks like the Iranian people and Israel share a similar common enemy. Hezbollah, Hamas.
Yeah. Hezbollah, Hamas, or any other terrorist organization in Middle East, in my opinion, wouldn't exist without this Islamic regime, because Iran is a very resource-rich country, and they make a lot of money, and then they just direct it to these terrorist organizations.
Okay.
And once the funding is dried, I would say these organizations are gonna naturally die as well.
So my question is this: if overnight there was a peaceful revolution,
Yeah.
and the Islamic regime and the Ayatollah was removed from power in Iran,
Yeah.
and the funding to Hezbollah and Hamas dried up overnight. I'm saying yes, hypothetically,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you think Hamas or Hezbollah will have any chance or any future going forward if their funding dries up?
No way that they can do that, because how do they want to survive? They have to go work hard like the other people to make money and to have food on the table, because they do this horrible stuff because they receive free money from the mullahs in Iran, and they receive the funding, money, weapons, missiles, everything, and they are following their agenda. That's the exact reason. And imagine that Hamas doesn't have that much money to build those weapons and pay their people, then they would die. They would stop doing that. They would respect Israel, and they respect people in Palestine, and they don't do those horrible stuff.
Okay, so you've highlighted a great point that there will be no future for Hamas and Hezbollah if Iran changed overnight and the Islamic revolution was removed, because their funding will be cut off. Do you think that will stabilize the region, lead to peace in the Middle East, if the Islamic regime in Iran was removed, and that the funding to these terrorist organizations like Hezbollah and Hamas would end?
Yeah. Very, very probable. I'm very hopeful that if the regime is removed, then these organizations wouldn't exist. And if you look at the history before that revolution that happened in Iran, these organizations didn't exist. Like Hamas, the terrorist organization didn't exist. And the reason that they are existing is because those mullahs, they took over and they wanted to pursue their political agenda, and they started to fund this terrorist organization.
Okay, so that's a really good point you made, right? Obviously we could have peace if these but my question is, when it comes to the Islamic regime, right? How do we peacefully defeat this ideology, Islam?
Yeah.
If people in Iran who dare speak up, if they speak up against the Ayatollah, if they dare speak negatively about Muhammad, if they try to preach the Bible, right, or the Torah, they'll get sentenced to jail
Yeah.
for corruption or mischief in the land, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a job for journalists and investigators to highlight this human abuse? And why aren't they?
Of course, they must do that. Anyone who has some conscience that they want to do something right, they want to do something good for the humanity, they must do that, of course. But maybe they work for the media, that they have some agenda that is funded by someone who doesn't like to talk about this stuff, and they don't do that.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate this interview, and I'll see you around, mate.
Thank you. All the best.